Hello and welcome to Set for Smash Moveset Concept, as we analyze the legacy video game characters and see how they would play in Super Smash Bros. As we wrap up the month of June, we are halfway through our Fighter Pass season of the year, and it's about time we actually talk about a franchise that recently was included in Smash Bros. Whether people are fans of the series is still debatable. Either way, I'm talking about Dr. Coyle. Her official appearance would be later on in the game's lifespan. Not only is she the final playable character who was eventually added into the game, she's also the main antagonist of ARMS, being the literal brains of ARM laboratories, trying to research the phenomenon that give people their extendable ARM abilities. And whatever happened between her and Max Brass is what eventually drove her to go, well, mad with power. Especially in the ARM competition, her dedication to her experiments would lead to the creation of Helix, Springtron, and the Headlock. Would this mad scientist be ready to stretch out into battle in Super Smash Bros? Let's find out. Beginning with the details, series symbol is the ARM symbol, and as we go more into her stats, she's surprisingly a very tall and bulky base character, but considering she is a villain character, it makes sense that she would have a wider body frame. However, compared to her other villainous counterparts, her stats are vastly different. One of the prime examples, she's one of the few villain characters with a below average weight, as well as attack power. While her knockback and defense are in the average amount, she specializes more in speed and jumping ability, as those are above average, making her very floaty in the air, and still be able to keep up with her opponents while on the ground. It must have something to do with the fact that she levitates. When entering a stage, she actually floats down just like in her boss reveal when you enter the hardest difficulty. And as for her taunts, one of her ARM weapons, the Lockjaws, pop out of the shoulder and roar, almost like these little creatures have a conscience of their own. Well, to show off Dr. Coyle's malice. Taunt number 2 has her laughing maniacally. I mean, she is an evil scientist. And for her third taunt, she's actually collecting data, because maybe Smash Bros. Will give her the perfect research she needs to understand the ARM phenomenon. As we move on to her color palette, her default design gives her all green attire, while her coils are metallic gold. Color palette 2 gives her a more shiny metallic look, making her design more light blue/gray. Color palette 3 gives her a more yellow color-based attire, and her fourth color palette gives her an all-red attire. The other half of these color palettes will actually be based off other characters within the world of ARMS. Prime example being her getting a golden color hair, while her arms are a brownish color, referencing Max Brass, as these two have a connection, as they either used to be partners, both in the lab, and of course romantically. Color palette 6 gives her yellow hair with a pink arms, representing another one of the newer characters in ARMS, Lola Pop. There's no actual real connection with this one. This one just gives her a different type of color palette variant from the others. Color palette 7 gives her a purple attire with white in arms, representing another character she has a connection, Master Mummy, as it's theorized that she was the one who actually brought him back to life along with his family. And for the final color palette, the color palette will give her a dark red and gray attire, referencing the Headlocks, which she considers her greatest creation. As for victory animations, the first one is actually in her game, where she stretches her arms forward and then zooming into the camera. Victory animation 2 is also within game, as she has a maniacal laugh yet again. And for the third victory animation, she crosses her arms behind her opponents and then disappears. Though this is an animation from her defeat, she'll be doing this in Smash Bros. Thinking that she just did nothing but waste her time, though her defeat animation will only have her back turned the entire time, mostly because I don't think she believes in good sportsmanship. And of course, her victory theme is the ARMS theme, but remixed to her own theme, which is based off the stage Redacted. As we move on to her standard attacks, I want to first explain this. Dr. Coyle's moveset will be extremely different from Min Min's. Though I do use a lot of moves for characters that are somewhat similar, it's more of like figuring out a playstyle that benefits to a character. Coyle is very different in her own way, and her moveset will contain her signature ARM-based weapons, which include the Lockjaw, the Burchuck, and the Parabolas. Starting with her jab, she'll use one of the Lockjaw arms on her hand, and it'll actually chomp forward. The second one on her hand will other chop, and then both arms will start chomping like crazy in a barrage attack. Moving on to her dash attack, when dashing forward, she'll actually slam her arm down like a hammer for great knockback damage. As we move on to her tilts, her side tilt will use one of her other arm tools, the Burchuck, as she'll actually just swing it in a circular motion, doing small combo damage. Her up tilt will have her punch her arm in a 45-degree angle. Getting hit by the tip of the arm will give the highest amount of knockback, while her down tilt will actually have her using the Burchuck again, but she'll only swing it once. As we move on to her smash attacks, she'll swing the lockjaw arm like an axe in front of her downward, while her up smash will have her slamming both her arms upward like she's clapping. And for her down smash, she'll actually slam both arms downward, Though the arms don't do much damage, it's the fists that are definitely the better hitboxes. As we move on to the aerials, she'll enter a shielding formation, with both arms being the parabolas that'll spin around them, doing small air combo damage. While the forward aerial will have her do a 1-2 punch in the air, her back air will have her shoulder arm pop out a bird chuck that'll spin around behind her, doing more combo damage. For her up aerial, Dr. Coyle will use her shoulder arms to pop out 2 parabola arms that'll shoot upwards and then expand. If you hold the A button, you'll actually be paraglide for a short amount of time. And as for the down air, she'll do a heel stomp slamming into her foes. For her grabbing animations, she'll do a 2-handed grab, which is also a tether recovery, and when she picks up a foe, she'll chomp on them using the lockjaw arm. Her forward throw is a fist barrage that ends with a big punch, similar to her actual grabbing animation. Her back throw will have her kick the foe behind her. Her up throw will be an uppercut, and for her down throw, it'll be a reference to the minigame as well as a move she actually does, where she'll slam dunk her opponent. Now that we wrap up the standard attacks, let's move on to the special attacks. Starting with her standard special, being one of her major arms, the Lockjaw. The Lockjaw will open its mouth for a little bit and charge a ball of energy. And if you tap the button, it'll only shoot a small ball, but if you hold the button, it'll release a powerful one, similar to other moves like Aura Sphere or Shadow Ball, except you can't hold the charge. It also takes a long time for the charge to fire, so if you have a good distance or have a golden opportunity to use it, the Kirby hat will give Kirby Dr. Coyle's mask and their hairstyle. For Dr. Coyle's side special, it's the sidearm. And what I mean by that is that she'll actually use one of the arms that she's using currently in her moveset. This is the only move that Dr. Coyle has that's similar to Min Min's, as she'll actually shoot one of her arms forward. However, you can choose the arm by charging the attack. If you hold it and then press up, it'll be the bird chuck, and if you press down, it'll be the parabola. It's a simple launcher, but I'll explain more about it when we get to the next move. Before that, let's talk about her up special, which is the cloaking device, where Dr. Coyle will disappear momentarily and then reappear in a different spot. This is basically a teleport, as Dr. Coyle will disappear from one spot and you'll choose any direction of choice on where she goes next. And finally, her down special, which is a very key item for Dr. Coyle's moveset, it's Charge Up. As you press and hold down B, whether you're in the air or on the ground, Dr. Coyle will charge her arms ready and add an elemental boost. So weapons like the Bird Chuck and the Parabola will get their elemental base, as Bird Chuck will get ice-based attributes for a limited amount of time, and the Parabola will get electric-based moves. This also includes the side special, and will also added bonus traits, such as the Bird Chuck being able to do heavy combo damage and freeze opponents, and the Parabola being a shield will be able to counter projectiles. However, the Lockjaw will actually give you more distance, and then if you press B again when using side special, will have the Lockjaw shoot its ball of energy at full power. The standard special would also need no charging whatsoever, as you already charged it with the down special. A very simple moveset at first, but Dr. Coyle is a character you have to be very calculative with, as you have to figure out the perfect time to charge up your special moves, and figure out great times to attack and avoid your foes. And like with Min Min, really emphasizes her playstyle in ARMS in a completely different way. And lastly, with Dr. Coyle's Final Smash, it makes sense that we give her Headlock. When the Final Smash activates, Headlock will lock into her head, and then next thing you know, Dr. Coyle will then gain 6 additional arms. They'll all be the Lockjaw weapon. Next thing you know, the Headlock and the Lockjaws combine their power shot, making a massive ball of energy. And when it fires, anyone who gets near the ball of explosion will be dealt massive damage. When the Final Smash concludes, Headlock will pop off of Dr. Coyle's head. And with that, we have set for Smash, Dr. Coyle. If we do get a second ARMS rep, now it's really hard to say whether or not ARMS will get more representation in Smash Brothers, let alone a sequel on the Switch too. I personally think it's a pretty fun game, and I'd love to do a video on a ARMS 2 concept in the near future, but when it comes to representation of other Nintendo characters, Dr. Coyle might not be that high of a priority on the list. Not even for the mainline series, as she still would have to compete with every other character in the ARMS franchise. More specifically, Springman, Ribbon Girl, and the very person she loves/hates, Max Brass. Though this does mean we would get another antagonist added to the roster, but who knows? All we have to do is calculate the odds. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, be sure to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. We also do other types of videos on this channel, from concepts, video analysis, and more. And if you want to support the channel even more, you can also check out the other variety of content we do here on this channel. And if you want to support the channel even more, you can either become a YouTube member, Twitch sub, or send a donation to my Ko-Fi. Although I don't know if ARMS is a controversial choice for a new character, trust me when I say the next character I have might be. But if you want to find out, you'll have to tune in to the next Moveset Concept.